Hey to all, welcome to Hack Shack Studios. We are live, we are live, we are live. And I have a special guest with me, a friend, a talented artist, a guy that's helping me put Chrono Mechanics together. We have the great Render Contender. How have you been?
I've been great. It's been a good new year so far. Is this our first get together for this year?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your Christmas too, because you still have younglings around the house. So Christmas is a special time.
Yeah, that makes it a lot of fun. I live vicariously through them. We had a blast, but a really good Christmas.
The really cool part is when you go shopping with Santa, right, for your kids, and you pick up on all the cool stuff.
Yeah, well, or when they went to visit Santa at the Christmas tree farm this year, and this was late. We got to the farm late this year, and they told Santa everything they wanted, and a few surprises.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, Santa had to hurry.
Yeah,
and regroup and rethink some things.
Some stress modes for Santa, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure because that's not what they sent him in their letter. they changed it in person. They didn't freeze. They just started coming up with stuff I didn't even know they knew of.
Well, as a kid, there's always new stuff, right?
Yeah.
And even as a kid, like I remember, if I'd come up with something last minute, for Santa and it wasn't on the list, my mom would say, she'd go, well, it wasn't on your list. You might not get those things. And you're like, oh, come on, Santa can do anything. Right?
Yeah. He fits on the chimney. He could figure this out.
Yeah. He can fly all around the world in one day. I think he can add, what were those battling robots, the boxing robots? What are those guys called?
I thought they were just called the boxing robots.
BattleBots. What were they called? Oh, you knocked my block off. Remember that, the spring-loaded heads? Yeah. You know what? You had a good childhood because I think they still make those things, but I think I was the first generation when the battle robots came out, and it's a good Christmas when you get like the hot toy for that year, right?
Yeah. Well, then when did it start getting carried away where people were punching each other and climbing over and trying to get that one toy that was like the was that really like Cabbage Patch? Was that it? They were like that, but not nearly to the extent of like the like Tickle Me Elmo.
Remember that was after.
I'm talking about way after. It just seemed like it got crazier.
Oh yeah.
You can't find them in any store across the country, and
it's sold out.
Yeah, it's sold out.
No one's going to get these toys. Sorry, children.
Everybody knew somebody that was holding one in stock at this store.
Yeah, Santa's holding off. There's the naughty and nice list, and there's the extra nice list. And those are the good boys and girls that get the Tickle Me Elmo, right? Yeah. My daughter did get a Tickle Me Elmo. Yeah. And she also got a Wii.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the big thing when Christmas. And I'll tell you what, man. Santa had to do some looking for that thing that Christmas.
That's when for me, I was you had to try to be the super uncle. See, it's like, oh, that's the toy. I don't know anything else, but I know if I get them this, I don't even need to know that they want it because it's what everybody wants.
Yeah, here we go. El Mordred says, Rock'em Sock'em robots. How could I have forgot that? That
Rock'em
Sock'em robots. And there was always one that the head came off. Like if you just looked at it wrong, the head would pop off, right? Yeah. So then when you play your friends, you'd always go, no, you do the blue robot. Yeah.
I'll be red.
Because you can punch me 2 times in the head and the head won't come off, but I can just hit you in the shoulder and your head's going to pop off. Because the idea was like it was an uppercut, right? If you hit the jaw like square.
Just right.
The head would pop off. Tell me as a kid that isn't like freaking awesome.
Yeah, that was a cool toy.
You could literally punch a toy's head off.
Well, what's the alternative? You had a brother, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be me and my brother punching each other's heads off.
Which happens.
I have 2 boys. They do flying kicks off the couch to each other. I don't know why they are even still alive.
Hell, why do we even have Christmas? All you need is a couch, a cardboard box, and like a makeshift sword or something, right? Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else kids. We used to use just sticks as guns, as rifles. Actually, ammo in the backyard. We had a lemon and orange tree. We used to just
Oh.
pull those things off and throw them at people.
We didn't have snow, so we
Yeah.
just threw fruit.
We just threw fruit. I remember I smashed my friend. He was running away from me. I smashed him in the shoulder. It was on the ground, and it was like a rotten orange. And I threw it at him, and it hit him in the shoulder, and it splattered off and then left a little spray on the side of the wall. And it was the coolest thing ever, man.
That's a good visual.
Yeah. So Christmas was good, hanging out with the family.
Yeah, I didn't get any time off, but I got Christmas off, and it was chill, so it was still nice.
Wait, you have somewhat of a Joe job. Why
Yeah.
didn't you get more time off than
Just one of those years. I had to work through it. Sometimes you got to do that.
Sometimes you got to work through the pain. Yeah. I hate Joe jobs. As a freelancer, you can take time off whenever you want, but the thing is, there's usually no time to take off.
Right, that's the trade-off.
Yeah, so somehow you have to make up a day to take a day off. Like tomorrow, we're going to, we're going to go car shopping, right, for a new car.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, no.
It can be fun.
It can be fun, but then I'm just thinking how much behind on Chrono Mechanics I'm going to get. Yeah,
because you got to be there.
So
instead.
it's guilt laden.
Yeah.
So do you have friends, family come over? Or
No, this was the first year in a long time. It was just us. So I got 3 kids, and no offense to friends and family, but it was nice. It was a little change of pace.
We did a Thanksgiving like that, and it is strange to say it out loud, right? That it was nice not to have.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's not rude. It's not saying that it isn't nice when family's there, but there's a certain rest that you get.
Yes,
that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Definitely, it's just a calmer thing. But then we had Christmas here, and so then we had the mayhem. But it's all good. You know what was really cool? This is what's cool, man, about Christmas and the holidays, is when you have that one friend that you haven't seen in forever, and then they just drop by unannounced, right? They just come by. Yeah. For me, it's great, but for my wife, it's not. But women always have this. They have a reserved gift.
That's why I was hesitant, because I was thinking, that would be great. Oh no, my wife would lose her mind. It's that because they got to be the hostess,
right?
With the mostest,
and then they feel so bad if they get gifts, but they don't give them in return. I don't care. Like I'll get it next year. You know. I'll give you something extra cool next year. But my wife was like, oh, and so then I said, don't you usually have a present stashed? Just like a kind of a generic, like, oh, it's a muffin basket or something, like something like that, some kind of reserve.
Blow the dust off of it.
Yeah. Or something that you kind of got re-gift, or you got the re-gift
from the Christmas party.
Yeah. So you have that laying around as well. Yeah. So wait, what? Also, Rock'em Sock'em robots are mini size now. That's not as cool. They should make them bigger. Can you imagine if they were like 2-3 feet tall? That would be awesome. And if like fluids came out when you smash the heads, it just starts draining. Bodily fluid, Rock'em Sock'ems. I think they could up their game. So what's the big Christmas? Because you got younglings. I've moved on since then. So what's the big gift? What was the big gift this year?
I don't know what it was, and I was asking my wife the same question. But my kids were sold and on what they wanted, and they were writing it out, and they're very obsessive, and they could talk to you for about 3 hours of the toy that they wanted, and it was a specific Lego set.
Ooh.
So. Both my boys are into Legos right now. That was their big thing. And my oldest son, and I was the younger brother, so I know how my youngest son feels. He will manipulate the younger one into telling him what he wants. And he started 6 months ago with, you got to get this because that's cool. That set, that's cool. And it's really just my oldest just has to complete his whole set because he wants all the different pieces of
He'll play Lego. With the younger one's toys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then my daughter, what's in right now with the girls is these miniature things, LOLs, I think. And then like they're like the Shopkins, they're extremely small, So you can lose them, but somehow we managed to still have hundreds of them
Billions
lying
of
around the house everywhere.
I think when they go in the toy box, they multiply. So when
Yeah,
you turn
they
your
do.
back, yeah. My daughter had what the hell were those things? Like they were little people, and they had like little rubber clothes that you could put on them. And then she had pet shop pets or something like that. Yeah, but they're all like microscopic, right?
Yeah, they're really small, but you buy one set because they want the big set for Christmas, but it has 50 of them in the set, and they can't keep track of them.
My wife used to. Women are like this. Guys aren't like this. It's like, oops, it got vacuumed up like a key piece, like a Lego piece or something like that. And they're like, oh well, you left it out. I'm like, no, that's a key piece of whatever. You can't.
It's the cornerstone.
Right? Like, you got to get it back out of the. It's like, no, they'll have more. I'm like, no. Like, so with us, she would vacuum up like pairs of shoes for like, it's called Polly Pocket, and she would vacuum up. I go, well, now the shoes aren't going to match. Amanda doesn't have matching shoes, and you know what? To this day, my daughter does not match her socks. Maybe
they created a style for her.
Maybe you never know. You never know. Speaking of young people that we threw fruit at, this is my buddy Curtis Wyndham. I've known him since I was 7 years old, and so he knows the fruiting. He knows the war, the lemon orange tree war. Yeah, just chucking. And these were like little oranges and lemons you get at the supermarket. These were like. Like they were huge. They were probably like 2-3 times like the size of a normal lemon or orange. And if they're rotting on the ground, holy crap. Sometimes they would fall apart before they hit their target. You know what I mean? They were that rotten.
I've always grown up near either lemon groves or orange groves. So you always had the place you weren't supposed to be, but you can run through there. They can be pretty gnarly when they've been on the ground for a while.
Yeah, but
they start to turn green.
Oh yeah,
or gray. That green.
Yeah, they had that mold on them. They had this mold on them, and then it doesn't just stop on the exterior. Sometimes those things will be like black inside. So they don't smell until they hit you, and then they blow up, and then you get that nice rancid fruit smell,
like poison grenades. Like
gas. Oh my gosh! You know what I want to do right now? I want to throw like a really rancid piece of fruit at you.
At me? Well,
yeah.
I'm pretty wily. You're gonna have to catch me.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any fruit trees. My neighbors do though. So I lost my train of thought. So Christmas was good. I'm glad to hear you had a good Christmas. What? We haven't done one of these even before Thanksgiving, right? It was before Thanksgiving.
I thought it was really close to Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you here, man. I appreciate you making the trek over. Yeah. And what Render and I have been doing is going over the extended, what are they called? Stretch goal pages. So we're at 54 pages now. We went from 48 to 54, and now we're just hundreds away from the 30K stretch goal, which unlocks the next 6 pages, which brings us up to a 60-page story. So we decided that we're going to have to kind of brainstorm, right?
Yeah. I think we got it mapped out. Up to the 60
pages. And you had a great insight on page 60. So just know when you get the final page that there's a heartwarming end, and it wasn't me. Because I'm cold inside. Wow, I'm really congested. We just ate, we almost polished off a full, large pizza, Render and myself, just before the show.
That's my New Year's resolution.
Lose weight or not eat pizza, or eat more pizza.
Eat more pizza.
Pizza. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Thank you, Wilberforce Wooster. Yes. So close. I think we're under 700 away. More dino. Yes, we're going to do more dinos. That's exactly where this book is going. More dino. The kids need their dino. Hey Art, got my black and white remastered with Grey Capullo cover. Thanks so much. I just saw an article. I haven't got a chance to read it yet, and they were saying Okay, everybody that ordered the gray Capullo cover, sit down. I hope you're sitting down. They said this may be the most collectible gray Capullo cover of all time, just because it may have the lowest. Well, it does have the lowest print run
As a cover.
as a cover. Yeah, as a gray Capullo cover. Yeah. Wait, what? It looks like three. Did we just go up? Looks like 398. Are you saying 398 away? Oh, you're right. It is. It is 398 away. It's moving up so quickly, you
Things
guys.
are happening.
Yeah, I can't even remember what we were at last. Yeah, so yeah, it did go up. We have the great Shinto. He's going to catch up with us in the chat. Let's see what Rot 10 Glory. I hope this doesn't come off as mean, but the Hack Shack Studios logo needs an update. It kind of screams amateur, which you are not. Your logo should match your legendary stature or status. Well, I'm going to throw somebody under the bridge. Do you remember Alan Martinez from the old Hack Shack Studios? Were you a crossover with Alan? I think you were.
Yeah, I do. Was he in the main?
He might have been for a while, but then he was over in the other side with you, I think. Yeah, he always had that corner table on the wall with the door. Not okay. If the door is facing this way,
not by the window. Then
no, not by the window.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like across from the window. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you guys don't know, Render Contender worked at Hack Shack Studios as well, and so really, really talented guy, Alan Martinez, came up with the Hack Shack Studios logo based on a little doodle that I had done, and it was animated at one point. So the pin shows up, and then it draws the HS across, and then the studios part shows up. So it was kind of all part of like an animated or animatics kind of logo. I got to find that and see if I can dig it up. But he did that. I thought it was pretty cool.
I think it's more iconic. It's got some history now. And I'm imagining it like the DC logo, where it's okay to come up with a new logo because you can go back to the other one.
Ooh.
And it's like a flashback. Because those always still work.
This could be the retro. Yeah, the retro logo. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, maybe we could do that. So, Rot 10 Glory, are you volunteering? Is that what this is all about? Are you volunteering for a new Hack Shack logo?
I love that opening, though. Hope this doesn't come off as mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always going to be mean.
It's always going to be
when
mean.
Somebody starts.
Like when your wife says, we got to talk. It's nothing. It's nothing big. Yeah. It's like, no, it's too late for that.
And do you hate when it's scheduled for later? We need to talk.
It's a form of torture.
Like next week. You're like,
next week?
Well, how about right now?
Yeah.
I mean, because now, I was busy, but now I'm stressed out. So we might as well get it over.
Yeah, but it's not even a day. I don't think I've ever had a week. Like, we'll talk next week. That is a new form of mental torment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should talk tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh. How about now? I do that to my daughter though when she was young. Because it is a form of torture. When
sweat.
When they're young and you're just like, it's going to give them time to think about what they did. Yeah. Because what we used to do, we'd go, we kind of get into it. There'd be some kind of problem. And then I'd go, your mom and I are going to go on a walk. And so then she knew that was code for like we were going to go outside of the house and hash it out and then come back in, and lower the boom. Yeah. So yes, Arctic, what is that? Hutfuls? Marvel has made my heart dark and cold. We are dark and cold. So let me see. Let's catch up. Let's see what this says. I saw Gray Capullo. Where was it? Did it just go away? There it is. Art, rub it in that I forgot to add the Gray Capullo cover in my order. We are planning some kind of way that people can catch up on Black and White before we launch Volume 2. So I'm not really sure what it's going to be yet, but we may be giving you a second chance at those books sometime soon, but we got to take care of Chrono Mechanics. So, just to back up a little bit, Render came in earlier, and we basically hashed out the last 12 pages, all the new pages of the Chrono book. We got them all hashed out, and I think we're probably 95% in agreement, right, at this point. There's a couple rough parts.
Yeah, some things come together. Do you work this way where some things come together as you're seeing them?
Oh, yeah.
You're visualizing them in your head, but then you kind of change course as you see them.
Dude, I've been agonizing how to end the story, because I think I've been not procrastinating, but putting it on the back burner, because I wasn't sure we were going to get that second, shot at the last, those extra 6 pages. So I think I didn't want to get too far along on it, because just in case we didn't get there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to get my hopes up, I guess is what it was. But now it looks like, it's going to happen. We're under 400 away from that stretch goal for that last 6 pages. So now it feels like, we can dream again. We can start working and moving forward. So yeah, I think they look really good. There's some great humor and some great action, and it does involve a bitchosaurus, as we call her. Okay, well, let's do this, because also we have a little behind the scenes of the way Render and I work together. So there's some layouts, some rough render pencils, and then some finish inks, and then I think we even have a narwhal color piece, but it's all the same page, so you get to see the various steps of it. And then we're going to do a little preview as well of some pages that I don't think I've showed off yet. Let's see if this is working. Yes. So we're going to give you like a quick preview of some finished pages, just to whet your appetite and just to know of some of the upcoming coolness that Chrono Mechanics is going to be. So this is the great narwhal on colors. So this is kind of a backstory of Doug, a little history, if you will, of how amazing he is. So this is Doug. Since he's from the 70s, this is Doug talking to Johnny Carson. The kids won't know who Johnny Carson is. But there used to be, do they still call it The Tonight Show?
I think so. Who was after Johnny Carson? Did
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno was, okay, he wasn't competing with him. He was after him.
Yeah, he took over.
The after Jay Leno, I don't watch it after him.
Yeah, you know what?
What's the guy's name?
Is it that guy from SNL? Is that who took it over? I don't know. There's a couple, because then David Letterman stepped down and somebody took his spot too, right?
Yeah. And
then the Conan O'Brien show is just the Conan O'Brien. He didn't.
That was
inherit.
Always separate.
Yeah, it was always separate. It's too much to keep track of. So then this is kind of a montage of setup for Doug, and we're kind of setting up in a weird way. You're seeing these kind of bad things that have happened to Doug, but also this is setting up Doug's superpower. So these are key panels right here, you guys. And I'm not going to say anything more than that. It almost looks like Doug isn't going to make it, right? Yeah, so that is page 4 and 5. So that's pretty early on in the book.
He's a rock star, so that's a hard life.
It's a hard knock life. So for some reason, we jumped forward in my tabs. So this is page 12. This is giving Doug a little bit of backstory on how they got here. So this is kind of the catch-up page. So we don't tell the story in a linear fashion. We start the story right in the heat of things, right at the apex of the S hitting the fan, as they say. So, and I think this is one of the first and maybe the only glimpse of a fallen member, which is the Spaniard here with the acoustic guitar. So he can soothe the savage beast with his guitar playing. So yeah, I don't want to say too much about the story. And why does it keep doing that? It's weird. It keeps, instead of going to the next tab, it goes to the last tab.
All the way to the end.
Yeah. So then this is a continuation of our mechanics explaining what happened and how they got there. To Doug. There's a lot of blame being thrown around here. So none of these mechanics want to take responsibility for what has just happened because one of their team members has died. And so this is what comes out of guys. This is how guys deal with their pain. They kick the shit out of each other. They'd rather feel a physical pain than like any kind of emotional pain. Yeah.
It's still healthy. They're working it out. They're addressing it. They're not bottling it up. At least that's where it's dangerous.
Right. That's where it's dangerous. That's when you get on the water tower with the high-powered rifle, right?
Yes.
And you start going, the world is unfair. And you just start taking pot shots.
All that guy needed to do was hit his buddy.
Yeah.
Throw an orange at him or something. Yeah,
an orange or just like a massive, like just a flying headbutt. Look at that. This is WrestleMania, you guys. Look at Zen's just going, yeah, get him. And then Zen becomes an unwilling participant. Even though in a way, I don't have the setup page, but in a way he started the whole fight. That's why Oot has the feather in his mouth, because that's all that's left of Caravaggio's beautiful hat that sweet Miguel gave him, their fallen team member. Oh, okay, so here you can start talking about this page.
Yeah, I'm so afraid to talk about this story and not giving away any spoilers or any.
Yeah, well, maybe won't give any context to it, but this is one of the jam pages that Render and I came up with. So
yeah, this one evolved pretty. You remember on this one, it was we need the team shot, right? I think I worked out a couple different things for you to sample and pick from. I think
there was an upshot. I think wasn't there like at some point there was an upshot.
And this one was more we wanted to fit everybody in and showing. So that one, I think you changed the order of the characters.
Oh, we flopped it. Yeah, we flopped it. Just so it read from left to right. So Zen speaks first, and then it goes around to Doug. Yeah. And so then Doug's balloon will be somewhere down here on the lower part in this open area. One thing about when you guys lay stuff out, keep in mind how things read. I'm gonna do something here just to show you where I'm talking about. So then you would have. Let me thicken this up so you can see it. You'd have a balloon here, and so then each one of them gets a line in. So when you lay these things out, so it's kind of going from left to right, which we didn't have before.
No.
And then Doug's line here. So that's kind of when you lay stuff out, try to be aware of that. And to be honest, I think from the page before this to this moment, we didn't really know what we were going to do, right? I think that's still up in the air.
Yeah, so you got to be flexible with the story. And I'm learning this as I go, but sometimes the best looking shot, the most, bombastic, action shot isn't right for the story for that reason that you just highlighted. That if you're not leaving room for the dialogue or for the page to flow, you gotta be patient with those things.
Yeah. And I think, it had to be very specific because I'm remembering what it was now, and I didn't really have an idea how to transition. So I think to keep the ball rolling, I just gave you some ideas, right? And then you just kind of worked on your own and then threw some sketches together and then sent them back. And they were all great, man. That one upshot, that broke my heart because it was so darn good. Like you said, it was very dynamic. But it just didn't kind of fit the mode of or the tone of what we needed it to be. We're doing that right now with page 48, right? You did a couple layouts for that, and so we worked that out today. So what was you did 2 images, I think. And so what was the original image that you like or you thought now becomes like the next page, like it's going to be a panel in the next page.
That's why it's never a waste of time to keep working out different layouts and different views, because you could always use it.
Yeah. So we're going to resurrect, or we're going to use that. And also just to keep the ball rolling. Sometimes I don't have the complete story in my head yet. So the great thing about URender is I can throw these ideas and you just kind of, throw some ideas together and send them back. And also, to be honest, that's what inspired me to write those last 12 pages it was last night, because you had just sent me that second drawing, I think, of page 48. And that's what inspired me to finish it off. So I like the collaborative effort. I like teamwork. It's really good. So then, here's the last 3 panels here. I really like this third panel. I thought that was really cool. The gestures that you came up with, and then the ship in the background, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's go to 19, which is also my layouts, your breakdowns, and then my finish inks over it. And we're going to show you kind of a step-by-step version of that as well. But this is mainly just to whet your appetite on what the book will be like. And you're gonna do a show with Matt,
with Mark
Colton.
Yeah, I'll be sending him in a video, and that will have some other previews on it as well. So
that'll be more of like the process, right, of your working process and stuff like that. So we'll keep you updated on that. So let me know when that happens, and I'll tell everybody that they should go check that out. Yeah, so this is a new dilemma. You guys have heard me talk about the time mines, and it's kind of like the old minefields in wartime. So if you step on a mine, you get blown to bits. So this idea is if you step on a time mine, you get blasted through time. So you don't get blown up, but it would probably be better if you did, because you're in a continual time loop. So you just keep getting blasted through timelines, but they're all your own timelines. So they're alternate timelines. So it's kind of like a Christmas Carol, where you get a glimpse of your life, what it could be like, or that type of thing. But you don't have any time to interact. You know how like Scrooge can't interact with the past, present, or future when he goes with the different spirits. It's kind of like that, where you just can't interact. You're just kind of bopping through all these different various timelines. So it's a lot of fun, but also it's very, very horrific. So I love this design that you came up with here.
Yeah, that's actually based on they're not called minesweeps in the Navy. They're called, I don't remember. Somebody in the chat will probably know this, and I'll get it wrong, so I don't want to try. But it's something naval marine portable battery device -17. I don't know. Everything in the military has letters and numbers. You can never remember, but yeah, it's based on the same shape.
Well, we don't have a name for this, so we'll probably base it on like numbers and letters too, because a lot of the tools that the mechanics use are acronyms. I believe that's like hammer, or like
I've seen that. That's so cool. The truck.
Yeah. What is the truck? The truck
one's funny.
The truck is
the hammer one's the funniest one.
But I can't remember the hammer one. I'm looking it up right now. So it's where the hell is it? I can't find the side here. It's it's a temporal repair utility cargo kit.
That's the truck.
Yeah, that's the truck. Yeah. Temporal repair utility cargo kit. So we'll come up with something like that based on the Navy. And if people don't know your backstory, you were in the Navy, right?
Yes.
And what did you work on? What were you as a Navy?
I was a CB, which stands for Construction Battalion. And earlier in the chat, somebody was mentioning something about the welding, but with the Zen picture. I didn't do any welding, but at the training school, we train in the same the welders do. So I'm a BU, and they're a W, I think, is what the welders are called. So you get a specific job, and my job was building.
And a lot of those guys probably take those skills into the, I guess, the public sector, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But mine would lend itself to construction, building. There's the CMs, which are the construction mechanics. Those are the ones that are repairing trucks and everything. And that's what I wanted to do.
Did you say CMs?
CMs. Yeah, that's their abbreviation.
Like a chrono mechanic.
Yeah. And I always get that. I always think of that when and our motto was can do. And there's a song that we sing that's in a John Wayne movie, but it's the can do is our motto, I guess. Or we build, we fight. So that's kind of our.
Was that the Fighting CBs movie?
Fighting CBs, yeah.
Oh, I love that movie as a kid. Oh, I love that movie. So I think all those things inspired chrono mechanics. So it's really cool that you're part of this, because I think you lend a certain amount of authenticity to this crazy.
It really helps me with the selling the visuals, the emotion of the characters, because I'm thinking about times I've been frustrated and something's not working, and you just what those expressions are. Even some of the other ones, the expressions of the foreman and Skippy. Because I've been there. I know what the look on their face is supposed to be, you know.
when they're not exactly happy with you.
Yeah.
So then these are all out of context because there's some key pages that I don't want to show you guys because I don't want too much of a spoiler alert. But this is Doug, and he's coming across Miguel's acoustic guitar. So a lot of these things that you see, like Doug's lucky pick and the guitar, these are almost characters in the story. So keep that in mind. So this is another jam of ours, right? Yeah. So we're setting up the foreman's office. And so we have a reestablishing shot of Chrono Incorporated. And then we pan into the foreman's office. So this is what you're talking about, right? Like being it's like being in the principal's office.
Exactly. When Skippy has to dread informing him of the bad news.
Yes.
I like the foreboding. That was your layout where the door, outside of the door, the first panel, or actually the second panel, technically.
Yeah.
At the top there.
Yeah.
Because you know.
They're going to get their asses chewed out. Inside. Yeah.
So Thank God the door's closed.
Yeah. So but the building's not very soundproof. So that's the thing too. Like whenever you get balled out by your boss, you know that everybody on the floor,
knows.
Knows too. Yeah, because it's never really quiet, right? It's usually at the top of their lungs. So that's what this is basically. This is the foreman getting the news, the bad news, and then Skippy and Eugene are trying to say, but maybe there's a chance. So there may be some hope. And so then this is the hope. And I don't want to give too much else away, but you've seen this shape before on some of the live streams. So you know it's a drone. Yeah, it's a Chrono Mechanics drone. So this was also a jam from Render and myself. This face, this first panel, that thing looks so cool. Yeah, and all that stuff, because you're still in the trenches as far as like construction, working those type of jobs. And then you have this board in the back, like the pin board. Yeah. With like your success, what do they call those?
The chart.
The chart.
I have the safety first.
Oh,
pinned up in the corner.
It's right. Let me see if I can
think
blow
it's by
it.
his head.
Yeah. That one cracks me up. Yeah.
We have like where I work. It's how many days since your last accident. That's always the chart you don't want to look at.
Oh my gosh.
Because what's good? Think about if you've ever done statistics. Do you want that number to be a really good number because it kind of feels like you're due? It's so say you're at Vegas. Do you play the table? If you go, let's say red or black, you're playing roulette. Do you go to the table and go, man, it's been hitting red a lot, so I'm going to bet on black? But really, statistics would tell you that that table leans towards red. So you should keep betting on red, because if statistically it's hitting 60% red, you better stick with it.
Right.
So I don't know. I think both, but in terms of an accident, you go, if there was just an accident like a month ago, and then before that was 2 years, then okay, we're good. There's not going to be another one for a couple of years.
What was that Robin Williams movie, Life According to Gump or Grump or something, whatever his last name was? And so there was like him and his wife were going to buy a house, right? And so they're falling in love with it, and they're just about to say, yeah, we'll take it to the real estate agent. And out of nowhere, a plane crashes into the house and just like takes the whole upstairs down. And so it's just a weird, quirky movie. And so Robin Williams' character just says, well, take it. And then it's like, why would we take it? It's because this has already been predestined. What are the odds that a plane is going to hit this house again?
Exactly.
So that's one concern we won't have for the future. Yeah. It's a weird way of looking at it, but you know what? People are interesting, right? Yeah. So this is a dire moment. This is a rock bottom moment for Doug. He realizes he lost the lucky pick. Yeah, so this is kind of a little bit of both of us. I think you helped with the layouts on the first two panels, and well, I laid it out, right, and then you did the finishes on them, right?
Yeah,
and then I finished off the rest. So yeah, this is Doug trying to come to terms
that he lost his pick.
Yeah,
and who's going to be getting the pick, because that's unlocked in the campaign, right?
Everybody that backed the book will get
everybody.
Yeah, we'll get a lucky Doug pick, and that's not just a little like souvenir. That's a character in the story. You'll have to read the book and find out what that's all about. So this is a jam. I think the second and last panel you helped out with, and look at this last panel. Holy shit! And Narwhal just brought it. Yeah. That's killer. That is so cool. So you know what? I'm starting to think that we're giving too much away. So let's get into, I have like 3 other pages, but then I'm realizing, well, maybe we're giving too much away. So let's get into possibly, which one would this be? The, this was just a page that we just finished. So this will show you what the kind of the ink line looks like. So this is a jam too. You did the second to the what is that? That'd be the 4th panel and the last panel. Yeah, those are your breakdowns. So if people don't know what a breakdown and a finish is, I think this will help them. Yeah, this will help. So these are the layouts that I send to render. So do you remember getting this? What were your thoughts? Yeah. What were your thoughts?
The first panel scared me a little bit because I knew there would be a lot of work in that. But the rest of it was a lot of fun. And then I think we went back and forth on that middle one as far as what size to make Eugene.
Yeah.
Because he's really, that's a lot of the focus of the page is that what he's doing.
But bringing him into the story, as a character, and also explaining what he is and what he's all about. So I think these visuals will make it a lot easier to explain that because the visuals will back up the words, or the words will back up the visuals. So this is very cool. So what I do is I just do these little thumbnails like this real quick, and then I send those off to render. And so then he does a breakdown. So this is considered like a thumbnail or a layout. So there's a little hint of character in there, but I'm not really putting anything on model. And this page, we got the benefit of powwowing like this, right? Before you started on it.
The first panel, yeah, because you were able to describe what you wanted. And now that we have the language for that, or I really dialed in, this was early on. and I've really dialed in how I'm designing those extra mechanical parts and background gadgets and doohickeys.
Well, you said you were starting to look at some of the Mobius stuff too, right? Getting into that.
Yeah, you turned me on to that, and that's something you can really. I think any artist, if you start digging into those books that he did, that's some amazing work. And his style goes all. I mean, not his style, but his something can be very cartoony, and then very overly rendered and detailed, and he can do both. And it'll be sometimes the next page from page to page.
God, what was it? Airtight Garage or one of those where there's like, it's really simplistic, but the cars are like rendered like completely realistic.
Yeah.
I dig that stuff. So I remember early on running the stuff by Doug TenNapel, and I know that he's not like everybody's favorite guy right now, but he was saying, Art, you're working way too hard. And he said some of this stuff almost looks photorealistic, like because some of like the cars, like the 50s Cafe and some of those things, those are obviously based on
he has
real
more
places.
of a real quick style, right? A very quick brush stroke, kind of almost Sunday comics kind of style, right?
Yeah. It's not as controlled, I guess, or as clean as this stuff. So then this is kind of the thumbnail, and then this is look at that background. This is what render brings to the table on some of the pages. Yeah, we're kind of working back and forth, but look at this. So you can see like all the key compositional things and design, like just compositional design stuff from the layout is here. But man, you went above and beyond. What were we talking about? Like the old computers where they had like actual tape?
Yeah, the tape discs. Yeah, I got to put those in. So that stuff is what makes drawing so fun for me, is pulling things from your brain that you've seen it before, and then trying to dig up the reference as well, and going, what, and then the reference makes you think of new ideas on top of the idea you had when you first looked for it.
Yeah. Well, even this thing, like there's this external plug on the wall, and there's this box here. This is so chrono, man. And so this room right here is basically the computer room. So this is the computer room where you can interact with Eugene. And so basically behind this wall that you're seeing is just a giant computer bank. It's just data. And just miles and miles of computer, which is essentially Eugene. Eugene is just the computer system. So this is Skippy kind of doing a day-to-day routine check in the morning to see and make sure all operations are working and functioning, and that the big machine is running smoothly. And so we find out that it's not it's not running smoothly. So instead of Eugene, because he's trying to be human, telling Skippy the bad news through a screen, he then comes in and he wants to be more personal and tell Skippy face to face. And so Skippy, that little smile that you put on his face, it's showing that Skippy's kind of like, it's kind of working, he appreciates it. So yeah, this middle panel is Eugene merging or basically manifesting from the screen to a real life hologram, a three-dimensional hologram.
The magic of Kirby Crackle.
Yeah,
that's what transforms people.
It does a whole bunch of things in the comics, doesn't it? Yeah.
It could also jack you up. too.
Oh yeah. It can hurt you. And so then this is kind of back to reality, and then this is Skippy finally getting, like, he's kind of coming to the realization that this is really, really bad, and that they're going to have to tell the foreman. Yeah, which is probably worse than the bad news, right?
Yeah. Oh, the waiting to have to tell somebody is worse.
Yeah. And then just anticipating what that person's going to say. is pretty bad. Okay, so these are the pencils. So let's get into. So this is the final line art. So, and I'll bop back and forth so you guys can see these in quicker. And put it all together, the layout, the breakdowns, and then the finishes. And so if you can remember what Render had done in the prior page, this is kind of then what I do. So I just pretty much add detail, rendering, shadows, light sources, and if there's any kind of putting things on model, I do that as well. Although there was very little of that on this page. On most of the pages, actually, you're pretty much nailing it. So yeah, this is the hardline inks, and I think I worked on this some time ago live on one of the YouTube channels or one of the YouTube streams I did. So there you go. I think I blew up the Eugene in the middle panel too, so he breaks the panel, because I think you had him inside the panel, right? Yeah, and I did that just for storytelling, just so he looked more important, because this is kind of debuting a character, establishing a character, and I always like to make sure that they have a moment. So then here's the last two panels. So let me go back to thumbnail. Okay, so you can see how it started. We go to renders, breakdowns. I still can't get past this all this background over here in the left corner. You're drawing digitally, right?
Yes. Yeah. I do, which I don't do as much anymore, but I do some of my perspective breakdowns not digitally, because, and this may sound a little counterintuitive, but because you work so big, and trying to plot your vanishing points can be somewhere on the other side of the room sometimes, and I think you described this in one of your live streams recently, where you can tape off and put references on the side of the pages.
Yeah, tape a flap to the side of the board. Yeah,
and sometimes it's easier to work out the image in your mind. For me, working really small with a big area and getting that thumbnail down, and then what I'll do is I'll copy that into my digital program, and then I already have my vanishing points established and where those lines are going to be. So a lot of people use the digital program to not have to do that, but what I've found is that it limits me on turning an object, and I can't use multiple vanishing points. It limits me to just the three main points.
Okay.
But if I have a chair that's turned at another angle, or somebody else is turned, it's really hard to figure that out when you're stuck on a screen.
So the screen will only give you 3 vanishing points?
Yeah. The program that I use will only do that. It doesn't help me with that many.
So if anything doesn't fit on that grid, then you're kind of on your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I can't do is, if I already have it on the digital screen, I can't take then a ruler or a right angle or something and help me work it out. So I got to go back to the pencil and paper to work that out and then bring it back in. So
what program are you working in?
Right now I work in Procreate.
Okay.
And I like it because it's not as heavy on those features, like the vanishing points and things like that. It doesn't help you very much, but it has, I think, the best feel for being just like a brush or just like a pen. It mimics it a lot better than the other programs. So that's why I ended up with that, because I'm actually more comfortable with a brush than a pen, the way my hand flows. If you were to tell me to quickly do a drawing for you, I'd work better with a brush. I can lay out my shapes better.
Do you go towards you? Do you ink towards you, or do you ink away?
I pull towards myself.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that's the rarer way.
It is.
I think most people pull away. They just kind of move away from their body. Like I guess it would be a left to right. So ours is more of a right to left. And the reason I like it is because I like that you can see where the ink line starts and you can see where it ends. But if you go away from you, like out toward, away from you, you can't see the end of the line because your hand is obscuring the line, the pencil line underneath.
I always feel like I'm going to flick if I go out, or I'm going to overshoot where I'm going. When I pull, I can drop my hand exactly where I want it to be, and I can pull, and then I can I use that muscle to stop.
Yeah,
I know where I'm stopping, so that's why I like to pull in to the line.
And also you can see the beginning and end of the line. I think when you go away, your hand's actually slightly obscuring whatever's behind your hand.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can't anticipate where it's supposed to end because you can't really see it. Yeah. But I've worked both ways. You get a nicer flow when you ink away though. When you ink from like I guess it would be left to right away from your body, because your hand kind of moves pretty. It almost works better because you can see how your wrist. I'm doing that. I'm actually doing the movement for render, so you guys can't see me doing it. But I'm doing it because it flows better from you get the wrist in it, and then the other is more of like fingers and just a little bit of wrist action. And so I guess it's just a difference, whatever you're more comfortable with, because we're all built differently. So yeah, so this is the breakdowns from Render Contender, and then this is the final inks. And I think I have the colors. I think we showed them already, but I'll go back to them. So let me see if I can find the colors. Nope, I think I got rid of it. So yeah, so then here we go. We got we have the layout, we have the breakdowns, and then we have the finishes. So those are the three parts of the process here. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And let's go back. Let's go back and see what the chat's saying. We got Slick Rick. I always like when Slick Rick comes in. He's kind of slick that way. No, Curtis says howdy. That was back in time. That was 158. I'm glad they have these timestamps because I can figure out where everything. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it was called The World According to Garp. That was the Robin Williams movie with the plane hitting the side of the house. And then Curtis says, no Long Beach Comic Con. I haven't. Have you done the Long Beach Comic Con?
I was going to do it last year, and I decided not to.
I love the venue, but the people that are working the show aren't the same as they used to. So I believe the people that I really like that ran the show are now running the what is it called? The Riverside Comic-Con Revolution.
That's the Ontario.
The Ontario, yeah.
That's a good show.
That's a great show. Yeah, I like it. I used to really enjoy the Long Beach show, but I haven't done it in a couple years. And so Kurt we'd always hang out there. So I do miss hanging out with Kurt. He just got a new house. I got to go check it out. I'm a bad friend. Doug comes to terms. I love the look on Chrono. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And looking good, art and render. Wait, I saw a render. Where was it? So render's specialty is rendering. It's not just a clever name. That's your birth name, right? That's when you were born, your parents looked at you and said, yeah.
Well, you're the one. I don't know how often I have to say, I have to differentiate between what I'm doing, who I'm talking to, what I'm working on. Art. Wait, do you mean Art the person, or you're actually actually doing art?
Yeah. So we're named after what we do. But yeah, your mom looked into your little eyes, right? And she said, he looks like a render.
No, I think that if that was the case, I probably would have been named maybe prisoner number 247. Yeah, I don't know. No, I think I was a very sweet-looking child, actually.
You're a good kid. You're a good kid. Yeah, but there was that time.
Wait, somebody's calling out a tangent.
What? Where? In the final inks. Okay. Should we bite? Should we bite? Let's see.
Well, he didn't say not to be mean. He should have opened with that.
So this is to be nice. All tangents fixed in the final inks. What? All tangents fixed in final inks. Oh, so is he saying that?
Oh, I had a tangent, and
you
then you caught it. Well, of course,
Well,
can't I try to get these things by you, but
it's what he does, man. He just tries to piss me off. Yeah. Here's another tangent. See if you get it. It's like Find Waldo or whatever that game is, right? Find the tangent.
When the book comes out, I can flip through it and laugh. An evil, diabolical.
Do you do that?
This one got
that
through.
Dr. Evil thing where you just kind of tap your fingers. I have to answer this. Comics Exposed says, Art, have you shipped Black and White? I haven't got my copy yet. Yes, those are going out just about daily. And we usually get about 100 books, maybe 50 books out a day or every other day. And I believe Pamela, who's my wife, and she's doing all the fulfillment, she said there's 350 books left, or 350 backers that we still have to get books out to. So try to be patient. I know it's hard when everybody else is getting their books and stuff, but they are going out, and we are going to try to be done with fulfillment by the end of this month, early February. So that's kind of the plan right there. So thank you so much for your patience. I do appreciate it. And we've got a lot of good reviews on the book so far. So people really like the Black and White stuff, and they're digging the patches, man. They're really getting into those. So that's pretty cool. So I think we should start winding down. Do you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I've seen a lot of good reviews on the Black and White book, and so far nobody's spoiled anything on them. I haven't seen any spoilers out there.
Yeah, no one's breaking the story down yet. And I think EVS said he was going to do one, but he might be waiting, because you don't want to spoil the book.
Yeah, wait till a few more people get the book.
So probably, I would say, if you guys want to do reviews and things like that, maybe just wait till the end of January, first week of February, and start posting those things up, and then you won't have to worry about the spoiler alerts for other people. They'll already have their books, so that'll be fun, something to look forward to. And we are going to do another Black and White Indiegogo soon, and my next Indiegogo, which will probably be sometime in February, I'm teaming up with Dynamite Entertainment, and I did a Black and White Vampirilla cover, and Kyle Ritter is coloring it up right now, so we'll have that for a killer Indiegogo campaign. It'll probably be mid-February, I imagine. I know they wanted to do it sooner, so it might come out sooner, but we're still in talks. So I'm thinking end of the month, early February, though, to be honest. I believe that's when we're going to do it. I think Nick wants to do it earlier, though. He's itching. He's itching to do it. Well, let's do a real quick Chrono Mechanics campaign update and see what we got here. Make sure it's up. Yes. So Chrono Mechanics in demand. They do more before the dawn of time than most people do all day. We are at 29,602. We have 419 backers. So thanks to all who have backed. And if you haven't, what the heck are you waiting for, man? Get in. Get in. Back this book. So I don't want to give away too much more of the story and things because we've done quite a bit of that so far. But check out all the tiers. There's a pretty good rundown on what the book is about here. There's a lot of interior pages, pages that we didn't show you on this live stream. And then we have the tiers. So we have this awesome sketchbook work in progress sketchbook that is in the featured tier. So you can get the book and the sketchbook for the $50. And that comes with 2 trading cards. Each one of the books comes with an accompanying trading card at absolutely no extra cost. So here's the main book, which is $25, comes with a trading card. A team trading card is what comes with that one. And then we have the poster set, which is 2 oversized wall posters along with 4 mini prints. And the 4 mini prints are based on the 4 variant covers that we have as a tier as well. And so these 4 variants are drawn by Carlo Barbieri. He does Caravaggio. We have Tom Bancroft that does Doug. And we have the great Sean Galloway who does Oot. And Aaron Lepresti that does Zin. So if you guys like variants, these are 4 killer variants. And I wanted to do like 4 covers that give you kind of a little character beat, a little insight on the core mechanics in their core form, not in their mechanics form. So I thought this would be a nice little, like overall where you have your main book with the team shot, and then you have your 4 variants with their individual characters on the covers. So then we have the twofers, which is basically how you can get a little bit of a savings. So you get the 2 books at a savings, and then you save in shipping as well. And then the ultimate. The ultimate is killer if you're one of those completionists, and this is the only place where you can get everything. Plus, I believe, let me see if there's a mini print involved here. Yeah, there's a mini print. So we have the main book, we have the sketchbook, we have the 4 variants, we have a mini print, and we have all 10, the whole set of trading cards. So each one of the book sets comes with a accompanying trading card, but it doesn't come with all the trading cards. So I believe there are 6 main trading cards, and for the trading cards, the only place you can get those is in the ultimate tier. And the 10 trading cards will pretty much be stats on all the main characters and on Chrono Incorporated. Chrono Incorporated is going to have its own card as well. So it'll have all the stats and give you a little bit of extra backstory on the characters that the comic itself does not have the time to get into. So those will be fun little accompanying pieces. And then I got to put another piece of original artwork up. So the original artwork sells pretty well. So people seem to like the style. So we're going to do that as well. So you guys, when you get some time, please check out the Chrono Mechanics site. The link is in the description. Let me see. I'm going to hit the refresh button. 602. Well, very cool, man. So it is in demand, and it will probably stay in demand until we go to print, which will be before you know it. It'll happen. We're talking about wrapping up the main artwork by when?
By the end of this month.
Yes. So we're going pretty fast on it. I think we're at page 48. I have 2 pages that I have to finish up, but after that we'll be on page 48. So that's pretty much the original book pitch that we did, which was 48. So if we didn't extend it to the 12 extra pages, we'd be printing this book right now. Well, we still have to have Narwhal finish it, but we'd probably be shipping it or printing it now. So so thanks again. When are you going to go on Mark Polton's show?
That's going to be, well, actually, I have to get him a video. I'm answering some questions from the CG mailbag. So I got to put my answers together in the form of a video, and he'll put those on sometime this week. So keep an eye out for that. Again, that's on Mark Polton's channel. So go over there, subscribe to that so you can get that. That'll get you some more background on me personally, but also the Chrono Mechanics campaign.
Cool. And you have a past with Mark, right? You did some of the artwork for the Graveyard Shift campaign,
right? That's where we kind of met. We haven't met in person yet, but through John Malin, working on the epilogue part of that story. So I would actually say that's something to go take a look at as well. I think all of the supplemental sold out, which would be any of my work in that book. They sold the last of them. They had a few copies left, and they sold out. There was, I think, 350 left, and they sold out all those.
Is that in the relaunch campaign with the new cover on it?
Yeah, the relaunch. One of the tiers was you could get that supplemental book that I'm in, and so I'm sad because I know more people to tell to go buy it, but at the same time, hopefully that becomes a collectible.
That was that for volume 1 or volume 2?
Volume 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it was part of the kind of an additional tier book. It was myself, and then also it was Todd
Mulrooney.
Yep.
Yes, very cool. And Todd's a friend of the show, and we do the Pontificators stream together. So very, very good. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Had a blast, and look forward to Render's interview on Mark Polton. Is it called Mailbag, or is
it's
the
Comicsgate Mailbag?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the site.
Yes,
That's the YouTube site.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look up Mark Polton, you'll find him, find his channel, and you can subscribe to that.
Yeah, and he has a book. I think it's in demand right now as well. So we're all putting stuff out, man. We're all getting things out there. What do you call it? Moving and shaking and moving. All right, you guys, enjoy what's left of your weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Take care.
guys.